Hey gamers, welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is a doozy, so buckle up. In this episode, I thought we should dive into gaming, science and technology. So have you ever heard of the simulation theory? Now, I know you're probably wondering what does this have to do with gaming, but trust me, it's all connected. So let's jump right in. Stay with me here. You know those games where your character is running around in a simulated world, completing missions and interacting with other players? Well, what if I told you that our entire reality could be just like that? Let's start with the basics for a second. The simulation theory proposes that our entire universe, including ourselves and everything we experience, is actually a computer simulation created by a more advanced civilization. Okay, I know, it sounds crazy, but think about it. If we can already create video games like Call of Duty that simulates realistic battlefields and scenarios, what's to say that a more advanced civilization couldn't create a simulation where our entire universe is within it? And okay, here's where it gets even crazier. If the simulation theory is true, does that mean everything we think is actually just line of code running on a computer somewhere? Don't worry guys, it's not all bad news. In fact, the simulation theory can actually help us understand our world and our place within it. Think about it for a second. In Call of Duty, aren't you controlling a player who's part of a larger battle? And don't you, as the player, have greater perspective and the situation than your character does? I mean, honestly, you and I can both see our character and the information around him, plus we have the perspective of the world outside of the monitor. So if you can see the bigger picture, that means you can make decisions that your character just couldn't make without your help or perspective. Okay, in the same way, the simulation theory suggests that we as humans might be like characters in a video game. Think about it. We as humans currently have limited perspective and knowledge of the world around us, right? And just like the influence that we have over the character situations in our favorite video games, who's to say that there isn't a greater intelligence out there that we can't perceive right now, guiding our actions, or taking care of the simulation, or even making decisions that shape our lives and our world we live in? Okay, so I hope you're still with me. So how can we better understand this concept? Well, let's take a look at the study of quantum mechanics quickly. Quantum mechanics is the branch of physics that studies the behavior of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic level. One of the things that it discovered is that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously. This ties into the simulation theory because it suggests that our reality might not be as fixed as we think it is. One of the most famous experiments in this field of study is the double slit experiment. I think we should take a few seconds and quickly just talk about the double slit experiment. In this experiment, a beam of light was shown through two slits and projected onto a screen. The result? An interference pattern, which basically suggests that light is behaving like a wave. But then when scientists tried to observe which slit the light was going through, the interference pattern disappeared, and then the light behaved like a particle. Now, this was known as the observer effect, and it is a key piece of evidence for the simulation theory. If I could summarize, basically what it means is that until we observe something, it can exist in multiple different possibilities. So, what does it mean for all of us as humans? Some argue that if our reality is a simulation, then nothing is truly real and everything is predetermined. Others argue that it doesn't really matter if our reality is a simulation or not. At the end of the day, we're all still gonna have to live in it and live our lives to make the most of it, right? If you want to test the simulation theory for yourself, there are a few things you can do at home. For example, try to break the laws of physics in a game you're playing. Can you fly in Minecraft or Call of Duty? Can you walk through walls or move objects with your mind? If you can, then maybe simulation theory is onto something. So, what does this mean for us as humans? If we're living in a simulation, it raises some pretty big questions about our existence, right? Like, who or what is running the simulation? What is the purpose of it? And can we even break out of it? Now, I know this can all seem pretty heavy, but let's bring it back to gaming for a moment. Games like Call of Duty, Minecraft and Fortnite all have elements of simulation built into them. Think about it. You're controlling a character in a virtual world that is governed by a set of rules. Well, gamers, that's all for today's episode. I hope you've learned something new about the simulation theory and how it relates to gaming, quantum mechanics, and our own existence. Until next time, keep gaming and keep exploring the mysteries of our universe.